Are we all in frame?
Hello. A little awkward.
Hello.
Hi. So I just came across these amazingly fun time having girls just having a good time here at the event, and your cosplays all seem solid, seem really solid. So I wanted to ask you questions if you don't mind. So first off, can you introduce yourselves and tell me about your cosplay?
My name is Nisi Gonzalez. And I'm cosplaying Alois Chansey from Black Butler. And yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
My name's Sabrina, and I'm cosplaying Grell Sutcliffe from Black Butler.
Hi, I'm Dem, and I'm cosplaying Sebastian Michaelis from Black Butler.
Hi, I'm Rory, and I'm cosplaying William T. Spears from Black Butler.
Hey, I'm Logan, and I'm cosplaying Snake from Black Butler.
Okay, so Black Butler is one of those animes that's in my backlog that I haven't watched yet.
Oh.
Yes. And I saw you were having a panel about this. So and I think someone asked this question, but just for the camera, if you guys, why should I watch Black Butler? And okay, you know what? And what do you like about Black Butler? So I'll hand the mic off to you and just pass it around, right?
I mean, just the fact that it brings us back to the fact of the whole fantasy and just 19th century Victorian. That's just like the main stories of all that's just happening, like Alice in Wonderland, and just all the where the origin stories came from, like all of the origin fairy tales. And the reason why I like it is just, I don't know, it's just I connect with some of the characters, like the character I'm cosplaying. So it's really interesting to know like their backstory on why they became like that, and it's just how they go through their lives with it. And plus, the humor is hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, well, the reason I like Black Butler is, well, I started it because I'm like, well, I gotta get in with the cool kids. That's why I started it. But I ended up liking it a lot more instead of that reason, you know. I liked it for all the mystery that was involved in it, because I love mysteries. They're like the best.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the Jack the Ripper arc, that was an amazing arc, and
really
many more arcs are amazing, and
Had a lot of twists in it too.
yeah, a lot of twists and turns. Yeah, it's a really good show, very good plot. I really recommend it.
So what first drew me to Black Butler was Sebastian, the character I'm cosplaying. I remember hearing of Black Butler. I didn't really know much about it, and then I started watching it, and just Sebastian drew me right into the anime. And I just love mysteries. I love the humor. It reminded me, like, the little bit of the humor. I just really liked the humor, and I'm a big history nerd, and the fact that I really like the whole Victorian era, it just really also pulled me in as well. And the fact that my favorite voice actor actually voices Sebastian, I was actually really happy. J. Michael Tatum, he's my favorite voice actor, so that's what also drew me.
Okay. I still have not seen every single episode of Black Butler, but I've watched the majority to know. And honestly, I've heard about it so much, and then honestly, just recently, like a couple years ago, I actually sat down and started watching it myself because I knew about the characters. Like I knew about Sebastian, I knew about CL, and like all the people in the mansion, even you. Oh yes, especially you, because for years. By this one and a bunch of other friends, they have always told me, you gotta cosplay Grell, and I'm like, fine. So I got into it, I started watching it, and honestly, the whole mystery thing of it, the Victorian, is so nice. The outfits are gorgeous, I love them. The characters, honestly, mostly all the characters are extremely lovable. The comedy, again, is amazing. The comedy's great. And honestly, I think one of my favorite arcs ever was the Book of Circus arc, because I connected with a lot of characters in that one. It was just so good, and by the end I was in shambles, and it was great. But yeah, so that's why you should totally watch Black Butler, because it's honestly just great.
I can't even remember when I started Black Butler, to be honest. But I started reading it first. I remember how I started it. I was actually in Japan, and what happened was I came across the manga for it, and one of the people in my group said, "That one, you should get that one, get it." So I got the manga, and I wound up reading it, and it was really, really well drawn. The art is amazing. Yana Toboso is amazing. The characters are all, again, very lovable. But what I really love about it is that it's dark. It goes to some places that most anime, especially like the recent seasons, they don't go there. Because there's actually like murder, there's blood, there's demons and everything. It's great. I love the darker sense, and all the voice actors are really talented. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you started touching upon something that really interests me, and obviously why I'm here today. What got you into cosplay? And then, yeah, it's a fun one.
Oh.
And then, can you tell me what it was like your first time? So, all right, I'm gonna start off with you again, okay? All right.
Wow, the first time I cosplayed.
Tell me of the experience of the first time.
Oh my God, it's been a long time. I can't even remember the first time I cosplayed. That's
You're just all owning it so well.
Yeah.
You had such confidence out there when you're in the stage thing. I'm like, all right, well, I feel like these people, they will have stories to tell.
Yeah.
They give zero F's about judgment or problems. You're just here for each other and the event.
It's a big family.
And that's beautiful to me. So
Yeah. Yeah, so, oh my Lord, I'm not. I'm sorry. What, Grub?
Fight, kid.
Yo, don't fight. Don't you fight. No, oh my Lord.
There you go. You're fine.
Oh, the first time I cosplayed, before I used to cosplay, my first con was actually going to New York Comic Con when I was in my freshman year of high school. And I mean, I went at a wrong time. I went like towards the end of the con, and I bought my ticket really extremely late. Like real late meaning 6:00 p.m.
Wow.
$45 wasted on a 6 p.m. night, and it was for a one-day pass. But I came in just in a trench coat with like a hat and everything, just trying to see how it is and everything. Because to me, someone described it as Halloween, but just for that. I'm like, okay. So while waiting for my mom and my dad to pick me up at the time, I sat there and I saw this really great Axel cosplayer, which I think from right now, since I'm more experienced in cosplay, the person actually was dressed as like a rave style Axel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was just telling her like, oh my God, like I love your costume and everything. I don't think I could pull off something like that. It's beautiful. And I never forget to this day, you can definitely pull it off, all right? You just have to have the confidence, and you can definitely do it, all right? Just don't let anyone tell you different. You can definitely do it. And I'm like, okay. So I started cosplaying from then. But it was just like small things. Like I did a little bit of boy love stuff, and then I went to like Hitalia, Vampire Night, just all the mainstream ones that are starting to come out. And then when I really got really deep into cosplay, was actually during a really personal moment in my life when I actually lost a family member really close to me. So from that time, I actually used cosplay as a form of coping. So I started like doing commissions, taking up commissions, making my own stuff. And people would just like looked at me and like, are you sure you didn't get this at a store? I'm like, no, I made it. This is what I'm doing. They're like, you really need to start showing this off and everything. So I just became more and more confident in what I love to do, and I really do cosplay characters that have a really significant meaning to me. So that's what I feel actually can get you to cosplay the character that you want, like make you have the best cosplay ever. Cosplaying a character that really has that one thing that means so much to you.
Yeah. Well, what first got me into cosplay, actually, I was a huge anime nerd, like growing up 8, 9, 10, and I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm just like, I wonder if there's any like costumes for this. I wonder if people dress up for this. And so on YouTube, I discovered Melinda Chan, and her cosplays were so good and beautiful. And I'm like, what is this? I want to get into this. So I watched so much more of her videos, And eventually I just fell in love with the idea of cosplay and conventions, and I just wanted to do it. And so I did. I found my first convention, Springfest 2012, and I made my first cosplay ever, which was 2 garbage bags put together and a piece of construction paper with a face on it. I went to the convention, everybody loved it. They were just like, oh, no face, no face. And I actually felt so happy. I'm like, wow, people actually think I'm cool. This is so cool. I want to keep doing this. And so I did, and that's how I got to where I am today, with encouragement from everyone around me, and I thank everyone for that.
Well, what started with me with cosplay is when I was very young, I watched a lot of anime. I watched a lot of Sailor Moon, a lot of Cardcaptor Sakura, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I watched a lot of that. I remember coming home from school at 3 o'clock, and then I would turn on WB4 Kids and just and just watch all those shows, or Toonami and everything like that. I remember when I was also little, and you remember this from last night when she was over my house, I found an old picture of when I was 6 years old and I was cosplaying Sailor Moon. I was dressed up as Sailor Moon. I started early. And then as I got older, I started looking up more stuff online about like costumes, and actually I did discover Melinda Chan, X Shadow, Parley Productions.
Cassandra.
Yep, Socialist Cassandra, and I saw their con videos, and I'm like, oh my god, and I didn't know conventions existed at that point. So then I started doing more research, and then I learned that a lot of the conventions they went to were like really far away. And I'm like, I'm never gonna get to go to one. But then I did more research as I was older. I think I was 15, 16 years old, and I discovered New York Comic Con 2010 was my first convention. And at that time, I was really into Ouran High School Host Club, really into Ouran High School Host Club. And I cosplayed at Haruhi Fujioka, and I felt really good about it. I had so many people come up to me. I was actually very self-conscious from the fact that I didn't really know much about cosplay, and that I didn't know anything about makeup, and at that point I was going through an awkward phase where I had braces. So I was like really nervous that people would make fun of me. But actually everyone was really, really opening and really, really loving. And I'm like, wow, this feels really good. And I just kept doing it. And actually, my second cosplay was Sebastian, actually. I've been cosplaying for 6 years. And out of those 6 years, I've cosplayed Sebastian for 5. I've cosplayed Sebastian. He's my oldest cosplay that I ever had. So it's just, I love to cosplay. I just feel like I can be myself. And also the fact that I can be another character from like a whole bunch of shows. Sailor Moon, I cosplay. Actually, I cosplay 2 versions of her, Sebastian in England, Loki from the Avengers. I do a whole bunch, and I love it. And I feel happy when I cosplay. It makes me smile, and the fact that other people see me and they smile and they compliment me, it just feels really, really good. And actually now, because of this one, I started making some of my cosplays. So I started sewing a lot. And I really like, and it's just making me improve, like in the future, like with all my cosplays, which I really like. So yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, okay. Well, when I was extremely young, like maybe 4 or 5 years old, I watched so many anime, so much anime. Oh gosh. Like I remember watching. I remember watching Naruto, like the earlier episodes. I remember watching Naruto, and I remember the first time I saw Sasuke Uchiha. I looked at him and I'm like, oh my god! Like I don't want to have you. I don't want to have you. I want to be you. I'm like, I want to freaking be you. I was like 5 years old. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I want to be this guy so bad. And he was, oh my god, he honestly, it was honestly Sasuke that made me want to watch more anime, because I'm just like, wait, if there are characters this cool, then there's got to be more. So I looked into like a whole whole bunch more. And I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. So for like my entire life, I just grew up loving just watching anime, all this different kind of anime, and I'm like, there's got to be something that people do where they dress up as these people. Like, there can't just be people that just like, oh, I want to dress up as that person and never do it. That's not the thing. So in middle school, actually, I started to actually like buy like, you know, the merch, the stuff you can buy like pieces of the cosplay type thing, and I got like my little Hidden Leaf Village headband. In middle school, I would wear it to school. I would wear it around my neck. I'd wear it in my hair, and I'm just like, I feel fantastic. so I thought I was the coolest freaking person in school. Oh my god! But of course, people were like, "Oh, it looks like you're wearing a dog collar," and I'm like, "Fire jutsu, bitch." But so as I grew up, I still continued to watch anime, but I would get more curious as to like what these things were, like conventions. I started to look up what conventions were, and I'm like, oh wow, these seem really, really cool. And then during high school, I kind of like fell out of that. Like, I still watched anime, but I kind of fell out of like the whole like trying to cosplay thing. And I've always wanted to cosplay a character like my entire life. It's just I never actually found that one character that I felt like resonated with me the most. So basically, I went to college, I met Carly, I met you, and they introduced me to an anime called Hetalia, and they sat me down and they're like, have you ever like watched an anime called Hetalia? And I'm like, well, no, what's that about? And they said, it's about these nations that are personified as humans. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Like, you know, the episode's only 5 minutes long, so it goes pretty quick. So they're like, okay, and I sat down and I only watched the first episode at first, and you know, it was just Italy like shouting pasta basically like almost the whole time. But so we were in the dining hall, they sit at the table, they're looking at me. I'm like, oh boy. They're like, so we have a nation for you, and I'm like, oh god, I'm scared. So they're like, we want you to cosplay France, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. Well, what's he like? Well, he's extremely perverted. I see how you think of me now, guys. Thank you very much. But then I sat down and watched the first 10 episodes, and they aren't wrong. They aren't wrong. It's true. I am very, very much like France. So a couple weeks later, I ended up ordering the cosplay. It was my first cosplay I ever bought, and it felt really. I don't know. It didn't feel bad. It didn't feel good. I was like, huh, okay, this is okay, all right. So it was really funny because the cosplay got here before my wig, and we ended up taking pictures anyway because my hair was like down here, and it was like a mess of curls. So it worked. It worked. We ended up taking pictures anyway, and it was a lot of fun, and I felt really, really interesting. And like, I've never worn a cosplay before, and it was these bright, obnoxiously bright red pants with the blue overcoat and like the cloak and everything, and I'm like, oh god, this is great. So this is fantastic. So France was actually like the official first cosplay that I bought, but the actual like very, very first like full on cosplay that I actually ever did was Mephistopheles from Blue Exorcist. Like the very first like full cosplay, I had everything, and it was great because we ended up watching that, and they're like, hey, you should look at Mephisto, and I'm like, okay. So, oh god, no. And I ended up going, my actual like very, very first convention, it was like the really, really small one called No Such Convention. It's at Vassar College. I ended up going there, and I ended up cosplaying like a casual Canada from Hetalia. Because I didn't have, I had a red sweatshirt and I had jeans. I didn't have the wig, but I had my hair, and I made a doink. I made like his little doink. So I walked around and I had a little Kuma. I had a little Kumajiro. So I walked around as like a casual Canada. I don't count that as my first cosplay. I don't, because it wasn't even a cosplay. But so yeah, that was my first convention. And then I came here. Was that my first? That was my first year at Castle Point. I came here. Wow, who was I my first year? I was France. Yes, I was France. You were Russia, and then Carly was Italy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was France, and I came here. And then after that, I didn't go to anymore. But then in October, I did end up going to New York Comic Con. Went all 3 days. Friday, I was Mephisto. So it was the first. It was the. We're doing an interview. Yeah. It was the first time I actually wore him to a convention, so I was wearing Mephisto. This one was in a Maimon. And Carly was going as Rin. And I was walking around, and a lot of people kept stopping us for pictures, and I was not used to this at all. So I'm just like, oh, here we go. Oh, stopping again. Oh, here. Oh, okay, hi, another one. So it honestly felt like so surreal that I was at this place where there were so many things that it was like, honestly, it was everything that I've wanted to do since I was like 5. So I'm just like looking around, like walking in like the dealer's room, I guess you could call it, and then like the other gigantic room, and then walking around outside, I'm like, oh my god, look at all these people I recognize from all these different animes and video games. This is so cool. And then Saturday, I pulled together a Jack Frost cosplay, which was very interesting. I made the staff and everything like over the summer. It was... I'm sorry. But I was him all day Saturday, and that was really cool. People pretended not to see me sometimes. And I actually like braved it out, and I walked barefoot at New York Comic Con. I did not have shoes. The shoes I did have were in our friend Dante's bag. He like kept them just in case I wanted them. But I walked around all day with no shoes on and the entire time. And a lady came up to me, they're like, are you barefoot? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, you got guts. And I'm like, yeah. You know, I mean, when you go all out, you go all out. And then Sunday, I was France again, which was awesome. Sunday was probably like the best day. And honestly, one of my favorite moments ever on that day was I was walking around with Logan as Russia. And we were just walking around, just the two of us. And we see these group of girls. They see us, and they immediately just got so emotional and so happy that they saw us because they love Hetalia so much. And it was so cute and nice to see someone be like so passionate about something, because sometimes like you don't, like when you don't know a person, you could figure like that's like the only thing that they have in their life maybe, or this could be like the one thing that they have that they love so much that they're so passionate about it. And then I made one of the girls cry because I ended up kissing her hand as friends, and she started legit, like there were tears like rolling down her face, and we both hugged her, and it was really cute and really, really sweet, and it was probably like one of the best moments I ever had in wearing a cosplay, because it was the fact that you can dress up as this character that someone cares so much, that someone else cares so much about. When they see you, you make them so friggin' happy. It's so nice to see, because like I get that way when I see someone cosplaying my favorite character. Like if I saw someone cosplaying Tenka from Don't Tenyo Wara walking around, I would freaking tackle them and then apologize. But I don't think that they wouldn't. I would. But then after that, I just my hobby in cosplaying just started to grow like extremely significantly, especially when we started to room together, because we encouraged each other to do more cosplays. I started to do my try my hand at making cosplays. This was the first cosplay I made. Snake was the first cosplay I made. Yep. That was as I made this part. This is upholstery fabric. This is upholstery fabric for like chairs. But it was the only fabric they had at Joann's that was black and white striped, that thick. Yeah. Yeah. And so I had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely zero idea. But they were happy, which made me happy, which was really, really great. And Jack Frost, I think, was the very first prop I made, because I made his staff out of a flagpole and I think paper towel rolls, and masking tape. That's how I got like the texture on it. But then I just started to, I still buy my cosplays. I still do. Like if I know that I like literally look at it and I'm like, I'm not making that. Like all of the stuff from Token Rambu. Nope. Woohoo! But if I see something that I know I can't make, I'm just like, okay, I'll buy that one. But now I'm actually starting to try to make more cosplays. I think to this day, I think I've made myself, 4 or 5 cosplays, I think. And honestly, making them is the best thing ever, because when you wear it the first time and people are taking pictures of you and like walking up to you, you have that feeling in you that like, I made this. I labored for hours and hours making this cosplay, and it came out so good and everyone seems to like it. So it's good. It's a really, really nice feeling. That was how I felt when I made Dio. From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and everyone was walking up to me, and I'm like, I'm in my banana suit.
It's literally bright yellow.
Bright yellow with green, and I'm like, oh. And everyone's like, why, out of all his outfits, are you doing the ugliest one? And I'm like, it seemed the easiest to make. I don't know. But honestly, and like the amount of anime that the amount of like more anime that I got into because of this one over here, because they're like a plethora of anime knowledge over here. The amount of anime that I've gotten into and the amount of characters that I've seen and met, and just the amount of stories that I've been exposed to. Honestly, I don't know where I'd be without half of them, because some of the characters in these animes, they burrow in you and they just stay there. It's like, oh my god. Like, I could think of like 2 characters off the top of my head where if every time I see them I cry, because they resonate with me that much. It's amazing how into these things you can get, even if they're not real, like they're fictional. It doesn't matter to a lot of people, because sometimes those are the things that keep people going, and it's so nice. And it's really nice to meet other people that share the same passions as you. So honestly, I think I'll be cosplaying for a really long time, a very, very long time. So I'm going to, I will, if that ever happens, I will make them a little like Lolita dress. Here you go. Have fun. Yep. But yeah, so that's my story.
I can move in a little more in shot too if you're rude.
Yeah, Snake's all the way over there.
All right.
It's been a really long time. When I first got into anime, I was flipping through the channels. I was like 7 years old. I was at my grandma's house, and I was flipping through channels, and all of a sudden I see an animated hand go through someone's chest, and I'm like, ooh, blood. Turns out it was Inuyasha. So that was my first exposure to anime. I was just sitting on grandma's bed. Hey. Second was at a sleepover, actually, with a couple of my high school friends. And what really roped me into it was the theme song, bless you, theme song, and just the language and the different culture completely. It always interested me. I'm actually an Asian studies major, so you can see where I got that from. I'm just nerd. So as for cosplaying, I always loved acting, and I loved like taking on personas of different characters and things like that. So I wound up just randomly acting like the characters, and then I'm like, is there a way that I could just be the character? So I actually wound up cutting my hair and getting a cosplay for Kaname-kuran from Vampire Knight. That was my first cosplay ever, because I have the brown hair just like Kaname, and I'm just like, I could do that.
I'm gonna do it.
I could do that, and it's dapper enough where you could actually just wear it and people just think that you're fancy as hell. And then I wore it to school.
Alright, there you go.
I just randomly wore it on a Friday. Full cosplay. A couple people actually recognized me. Yeah, they're just like, are you cosplaying? And I'm like, that's the word for it. Cool. So I wound up doing that a lot at high school, actually. At one point, I actually wound up going as a Maimon. Just on a random day. Literally randomly. We're out, the green spiked wig and all. Yeah, so that was the thing. That was how I first got into it. And it's just been growing and growing, because there's so many more characters, especially now that the internet's just blowing up and things like that, that you could just have everything at your fingertips and you could just keep watching episodes after episode after episode. It's so hard to stop.
It is, especially when it's that good.
Yeah. And just what got me was the community of it all, actually. Like, as these guys have said, so many people are really supportive of, especially if you're just starting out, if you're not that great yet, but they give you tips, they give you pointers, they give you encouragement and things like that. It's, for the most part, it's a really nice community. Like, everyone is so sweet. You get a couple of elitists and things like that that think they're all that, but they're actually a minority in the community of everyone. It's actually a very nice place to be. Yeah. You hardly ever meet them, especially at small conventions like this. It's only at giant conventions like maybe Katsu or Comic-Con, especially Otakon. Yeah, except for like the big name ones, you get a lot of elitists because they can show off their fancy cosplays that they've had years of experience to make and things like that. But at small, like school-run ones like this, it's such a nice community. Everyone's so sweet. You can derp around and nobody cares, nobody judges you. And that's just how I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be able to just be out there, because I'm from Long Island. Let's just say that not too many people do this kind of thing, especially in high school and especially at high school.
College is a whole different story.
Yeah, when you get to college. Actually, my first convention was Icon at Stony Brook.
Yeah.
Yep. My friend Ryan took me, and I went on a Sunday because he wanted to just ease me into con life. And I went as Drossel from Black Butler. From the anime of Black Butler, yeah. And everyone was so nice. I got to make a couple of references to some Grells, some Sebastians. I'm just like, hey, where'd Ciel go? Meanwhile, I had a little plushie of Ciel. Hey, I turned him into a doll. So it was so much fun. You can make so many jokes, and nerd in anime is such a completely different language, to be honest.
Oh my god.
Because you have so many different words and whatnot. Like, the linguistics of it really interests me as well. So it's just a whole different side of the community that you just don't see. Yeah, and that kind of thing always interests me.
You know, this is interesting for me because we had a little camera problem, but like this group, you all are exactly what I wanted to find. Just seriously, and I love the idea of people just coming together and having as much fun as I saw you all having. I stopped by your panel and I was taking some photos, and I saw you I saw you all on stage just owning. I'm like, I hope I get a chance to talk to them later. And as I was passing by and I saw you, like you were saying, derping around and having fun. It's just nice when you could just be with a group of friends, sharing a hobby, and then seeing people doing that, but doing in something that's supposedly subculture, that in a way, the more I see it, isn't really. Like, you said it, I think a few of you said nerd, and during my last few interviews, people say that, but I feel like nerd isn't even nerd anymore. It's kind of normal in this day and age.
It's a compliment now. It's a compliment to most of us.
To me, it's like an affectionate term. It's like,
You nerd.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. That happens a lot.
My Lord Jesus Christ.
In the next 6 minutes, they said they need me.
Oh God, man.
Are you kidding me?
I know the feeling of the baby.
Corvus, how did this happen?
So crazy.
I can't believe it.
God.
1.5 and I got stuck on her.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna hijack this. We talk around her. Let me get in here real quick.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll put it next to her when she's gonna talk.
It's okay.
I'm seriously. Oh, sorry. I'm seriously loving you girls right now.
Oh, false alarm. They got
What is, before my camera dies again?
it. Yeah, well, guys, we're not in.
Okay, we're gonna cruise in. We're in. Okay, what's your dream cosplay that you can do? Money's not an issue. What would it be?
I would do a very, very deluxe version of Coronation Anna. Coronation Anna. Because I just love the detail on that work, and I'm just like, I would love to pay the money to just do that, okay? And just actually physically work on it, like handmade.
Well, there's this thing called Saint Seiya where pretty much everyone is in armor. And then there was this movie like 2 years ago that, oh my god, the armor is so complex now. So I really want to do Kamyu from Saint Seiya Legend of Sanctuary. And it's complicated as hell. He's got like a cannon over here. He's got so many details in everything. He's got sheer stuff billowing behind him. So yeah, that's a dream. That is a dream.
Well, much like Logan's answer.
With all of the Warbler needed.
Warbler and foam core and money. But if money were not a problem, God. Okay, so same thing with them. Same thing, Saint Seiya. especially from the movie, I would either want to do the Andromeda Saint Shun, or I would want to do the Aries Saint Mu, because he's got these giant ram horns over him, and they're like and they're all like crystally and pretty. Holy crap!
you were gonna say
no, okay, scratch that last one. I want to do Gemini. I want to do Gemini Saga. There we go.
Yeah, no.
I'm done.
All right, you know, I'm gonna go on this for a change. I really would want to do a functional Gundam. Yeah, because you know they have some girl Gundams where they kind of make it work, but you know, but a functional guy Gundam, no, not slutty. Although maybe I can and make a little shit, have my app showing and whatnot. But I feel like a functional Gundam.
You know what's actually a thing? Back at Katsu this year, we were having a Code Geass photo shoot. So they have like all the mechas and whatnot. Someone actually came as a nightmare frame. Someone came as the Tristan.
The giant.
Yeah, it was basically
thing.
like a Gundam machine.
I know it's doable. I just want, like, if Dream, it would be Gundam. And then I've been back again watching Hunter x Hunter. And for funsies, I kind of want to do Hisoka.
I'm doing Hisoka, man.
And
Yes.
my fiance is a huge fan of Krollo, so she's gonna try to do him, and we might pair up that way. Yeah. All right. You're new to the group, but Dream cosplay.
Hi, okay, I'm Ellie. I just kind of snuck in here. Okay, so I have like two, and my first is kind of boring because it's a CL version, but ball gown CL, like the pink with like the frills, and there's flowers in the hat, and I need to be this at some point. My other is it's like a fancy version of a Homestuck character. Fancy Dreamer stuck Roxy Lalonde. She has like a little cage petticoat, and it's like cut in half, and it's just pink and like moons and stars, and that's like, I just need this in my life.
Well, you probably know this. I want to do a extremly fancy version of Neo Queen Soretti from Sailor Moon with the long queen dress, the white wig, everything. I just love Sailor. I already did Princess Serenity, so I want to do Neo Queen Serenity so bad. And with the huge staff and the wings, everything I want to do. I want to make those huge wings. And also Sailor Cosmos I also want to do. So yeah.
Talking about that cosplay for months. She has been talking about this cosplay for months.
It will happen.
All right, for me, anyone who knows me, they'll be like, of course, Sabrina.
Watch the Disney princess.
I actually really want to do a Disney Parks accurate Cinderella or Aurora. I want to get. Thank you. I want like the $200 wig. I want like the thousands of dollars dress. Like I want it all. Beautiful.
Thank you. I don't know how many times I could say thank you because you all have been so amazing. I don't know why this brand new camera just kept screwing up. It's chilly in its little spot, but your energy, your enthusiasm, your love of this, your awesomeness. Thank you for sharing that with me, my community, and everything.
This is great.
Keep me on your mailing list. I want to see this stuff. Thank you so much. Cool.
Thank you.
No, I'm not doing it.